Welcome back! Episode 3 of this series of 24, Ask, the Key to a Better Life. So here I was trying to find out what made people more successful than others. And I did what most people do. I started at the beginning. Goal settings and dreams. I went through all of my books and looked for those nucleus components that people used. And then I started expanding on them. And I listened to my DVDs and CDs, and I went through all the materials I'd gleaned from the workshops and seminars I attended. And I was finding bits and pieces here and there. And then I really started to expand on those. What determines, for instance, our belief systems, right? Our values, the people that we hang around, our environment, how we're taught growing up. All these things influence those components, and I found them all over. And as I started writing them down, I was creating what I call the DNA of success, right? This sort of nucleus of information. And I was trying to understand how it all fit together. But the more I delved in, the bigger it got. It truly became like a DNA strand. And I started to worry that this was going to be too complicated to try to explain to people and really help them achieve their better life, their goals and their dreams. So I had to do something different. And that's when I started working from the other end. Because again, this had to work for everyone. It had to fit no matter what your size, goals, or dreams were. So if I started at the end with the goal and the dream, happiness, the ultimate goal of what we're trying to achieve, and I started working my way back, maybe I could find just the core components, the nucleus of this DNA, and that would be the key to helping people. So I said to myself, if the goal is whatever it is, what determines our success of that goal? And as I did my research, I figured out that it's the actions we take, right? The actions we take on a consistent basis either get us closer to our dream and goal or further away from it. So that became the first nucleus, the first core component, actions. Then I just asked the question, what determines our actions? And I found that it's our focus. The things we focus on a regular basis will determine the actions that we take. Think about it this way. Have you ever been going on a vacation and the weeks leading up to it, you don't do a whole lot, and as the days get closer and closer, you start to get ready for it, but boy, the day you're ready to leave on vacation, you get a whole lot done. Why? Because you're focused on the vacation. It's time to leave, it's time to go, it's time to have fun. So if we focus on something, we tend to take action towards that goal or dream. Great, so now we had two pieces of the core, of the nucleus. The next question was, okay, what determines what we focus on? And the answer to that was our thoughts. The things we think about constantly. And I get it, we get barraged with 1,000 thoughts a day, right? Tens of thousands, depending on who you listen to. But ultimately, our consistent thoughts will determine what we focus on. And what we focus on drives our actions. So now we had the third piece of the puzzle. And then the question was, well, what determines our thoughts? And again, there are lots of components, but I was looking for that nucleus, that really core component that determines the things we think about. And what I found out was, it's that thing that we call an inner dialogue, that conversation in our heads, right? We all have a conversation going on in our heads all the time. And that inner dialogue determines the things that we think about, based on our experiences and our environment, and the things we do. All those things play a part. But ultimately, that internal dialogue, that conversation we all have, that determines what we think about. What we think about determines what we focus on. What we focus on drives our actions, and our actions determine whether or not we achieve our goals and dreams. That's it. That was the core of the nucleus of the DNA. And I thought, there it is. This is the path people need to achieve their goals and dreams. Follow that path, and you can get whatever you want out of life. But there was still something missing. There was still that component that said, if this is all it takes, if all you need is to have this conversation in your head, learn how to drive your thoughts, focus on what you need, take action, and you achieve your goals and dreams, why doesn't everybody do that? Why doesn't it work for everyone? And that's the part that was missing. And so I kept searching and I kept digging. And ultimately, I found that piece, that missing link that really determines whether or not this core formula works for everyone or not. And next, I'm going to tell you what it is at the next episode of 24.